real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. I hope everything is well with everyone that is out there. So there we go. Hey, everybody, it is Chris Brown, real estate professional and a marketing entrepreneur. I hope everything is well with everyone that is out there. But are you curious to know, should we expect a number of foreclosures in 2022? Well, that's what today's episode is about. So welcome to State of the Real Estate Market with yours truly, Chris Brown, where we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about building generational wealth and different entrepreneur activities and tips that are out there in today's world. So, hey, let's go ahead and jump into today's topic. And like I said, today's topic is, should we expect a swamp of foreclosures in 2022? So I was doing some research because I keep getting this question. A lot of people are asking me, hey, Chris, are we going to have a bunch of foreclosures? You know, should we expect the market to be like it was in 2008 and 2009? Now, for those who've been following me for a while, you understand that a big chunk of my business pre-pandemic was dealing with REO properties, and that business has since doesn't exist for me at that aspect of the business. But there are new things to come and to expect. So with that being said, I received some information from a real estate data provider, which says that at this time we are seeing about 1 million people in an active forbearance status. And for those who remember, during the pandemic, there was probably at a height of about 5 million homeowners that were in some type of forbearance situation. So we went from 5 million to about 1 million. So which is a good thing, because that means that people have exited out of that situation. Now, during the whole forbearance period, or people were applying for forbearance, a lot of people were actually in a position where they could stop making payments and be okay. And then there were a number of people, and it's most homeowners and borrowers, they actually kept paying. And this is from some of the statistics that were presented by Black Knight. And this is information that a lot of people aren't aware of, even though there was a forbearance, but there were a lot of people who continued to pay. So with that being said, in the upcoming months, we should see around, and this is coming from another reliable source, a VP of Realty Track, saying about 180,000 foreclosures should be expected versus what it was, say, pre-pandemic per year was about 500,000 foreclosures before the actual pandemic itself. So that's actually going through the whole process of a foreclosure and so forth. So keep that in mind. So that number is down as well. Now, big reason foreclosures may not swamp the market as we may expect, or what some people may have expected, you know, since we've been doing so well in the real estate market. Now, a big reason behind that is because most buyers have enough equity in their home to either sell their home or either move on from their current situation. And what I mean by that is that if you have enough equity in your home, that means that your home has a value. So if it has value, and especially in today's market, there's a shortage of inventory. So with there being a shortage of inventory and you have equity in your home, if you place your home on the market, you're going to be able to sell. Now, what happens after that, that's another story, because that means you may be in a position where you may have to rent. And right now, the rental market is very high. For a lot of markets, at least in my market, I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and it doesn't make sense, but there are options if you're working with someone that is pretty savvy in what they do. So keep that in mind. Now there is I did review another report that was just released by Realty Track, and it stated that 73% of borrowers in foreclosure have at least 20% equity in their home. So, and that's a big reason behind that is because we know that the prices have been going up. You guys have been following me. I've been telling you, hey, prices are going up. We're experiencing this. And homes are a bit more expensive than what they were. So with someone having about 20% equity, that gives them enough room to not only sell their home at a profit, but they can sell their home, use a real estate professional, pay the real estate professional, and then also walk away with a big chunk of money. So it's basically kind of, they would probably be in a position where they would need to rent, maybe start over. But if that is the case, they're in a better position than what previous years have shown and previous real estate crashes have shown. Now, like I said, 73% of the borrowers in foreclosure have at least a 20% equity, while another 28% have greater than 50% equity. And this is all from a source from RealtyTrack. So keep that in mind. Even though these homes, people may be struggling with the monthly payments and so forth, they're still dealing with something that is of value. So if it still has value, people are going to have options. And that's what it's going to come down to. And I talk a little bit about how this current market is a bit different from the 2008 and 2009 market. Now, if you're in the Colorado market, and also from the same resource, they were able to see that only 2% of homeowners were really underwater. And those are the ones that were in foreclosure, whereas the 93% had positive equity. So if they're living in Colorado, everybody pretty much has equity. So let's think about that. If your home is still of value, people are still sacrificing, doing different things to sacrifice to maintain the asset, or they're going to go ahead and say, hey, let me go ahead and release this. Let me go ahead and sell, get some money from it, and kind of start over and just move forward from that current situation. So with that also being said, with the previous crash, you have to keep in mind that maybe, I believe it was about a third of homeowners, a little bit more than a third of homeowners that were in some situation where they were behind in payments, behind in a mortgage. They actually owed more in mortgage payments than actually what the home was worth. So if you recall what I said just a few minutes ago, that people are sitting on an asset that is of value and that has equity. So that means that there's money to be made. So, and that's one of the big differences between now and what was going on back in 2008, 2009. There wasn't many options for people because it's like, okay, if you're behind on your payments, that's one thing, but then you're behind on an asset that's not even of any value. It's negative value. So a lot of people walked away. I'm sure you guys recall that. People were just walking away. The homes were vacant. Banks didn't even know that the homes were vacant. People were just walking away. In today's market, it's a bit different. If someone is going through some type of situation where they are behind and they're in some type of pre-foreclosure situation, they have options. So I'm saying all of this to say that, hey, people have actual options. And back in 2008, 2009, people really didn't have any real options. Now, the end result of those options, will everyone be happy at the end of the day? I can say the most positive out of those situations is, one, if you have to sell your home, if you're currently in foreclosure or some type of foreclosure process and you have to sell your home, you're in a position where you won't have that foreclosure on the record. Okay? Because what happens is now you've paid off that debt. So you don't have that. And that's what people were dealing with back in 2008 and 2009. They were losing their homes and then they would have foreclosures placed on their credit and they would have to deal with that for years. So that's one of the big things that's a huge plus in the market. If the market, as the market continues to go in the direction that it is. Obviously, I've told you guys that this is a month-to-month update, continuously doing research and finding out what the market is actually doing. So now another option is that if people have to sell their homes, where are they going to move to next? That means that they will probably have to rent. Now, that's not the only option. I won't go into full detail, but there are still ways to be able to purchase a home after you're in a situation of not having your payments, not making your payments, being in some type of pre-foreclosure and selling that home. you can still be in a position. There's different programs that are out there that will allow you to purchase a home, even if your credit scores are a bit low. So keep that in mind. Now, it's a different type of program, so that's why I'm saying that I won't go into full details, because it'll be a whole nother episode for us to talk about some of the details of those programs that are out there. But it's basically like a rent-to-own program, a lease with an option type of program. So keep that in mind. If you guys are in that situation, or you know of someone that is in that situation. For my investors, because this question always comes up for my investors, should we expect a bunch of foreclosures? Now, the banks are holding on to some properties. I know this for a fact. They have some properties that they are holding from placing onto the market. Now, when they hold it and they do not place it on the market right away, it's because they're probably playing the market a little bit. They see that the prices are going up. So this is actually an opportunity for a lot of banks to actually recover any losses that they may have had. So take, for instance, that if they go ahead and place a bunch of properties on the market, that means that they're kind of loading up the inventory. But if they play the game where there's low inventory and they release a foreclosure, a lot of people are willing to pay more for that foreclosed home than what they typically would. And also the banks are also willing to invest a little bit more money into the home to get it ready for the market. So keep that in mind. For those who are looking at homes, there are different alternatives that are out there. If you're buying a foreclosed home, great opportunities that may present themselves. So don't miss out on those. But should we have a swamp of foreclosures in 2022? At the moment, it's a conversation. If someone does nothing at all, then yes, their home will foreclose, but they have actual options. Now, keeping your home, that's a different story. But foreclosing on your home, that's what we're really talking about. The option is there for people to actually sell their homes, especially if they have equity, using a real estate professional to actually get your home sold. There's enough room, especially if the average is 20% equity, 73%. Borrowers have 20% equity in their home. So that's more than enough. Typically, if you're doing 3% and 3% for a buyer's agent, seller's agent, that's a total of 6%, and that leaves you with the 14%. So 14% of what your home value is in today's market, that's a good chunk of money that you can walk away with, maybe start over, or get more insight on that rent-to-own type of program where you can still go and purchase a home after you sell your current home. So keep that in mind. But I just wanted to chime in with you guys. I've been getting that question a lot. Like I said, a lot from my investors. They want to know, should we expect a flood of foreclosures? And then for my buyers that are out there in the market, this goes out to you guys too as well. So as properties are becoming available, continue to look at even foreclosed properties or properties that may need a little bit of love when they're placed on the market, because there are alternatives out there that you can actually get those repairs. If it does need any repairs, you can get those repairs financed. Make sure you speak with the real estate professional. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to do so. I'm in the Tampa Bay market. Realestatewithchrisbrown.com is my website. And for everyone else that may have questions, click on the links that are contact links that are in the description. You should be able to reach out to me on social media. My handle is at Chris Brown RE Pro. Be sure to check me out at Chris Brown RE Pro. Guys, take care. It's another great episode of State of the Real Estate Market, giving you insight of what's going on. Like I said, this is a channel where we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about building generational wealth and different entrepreneur activities that are going on in today's world. So you guys have a great week. Take care.